Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Pre-Match Yaps, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about this whole EDP documentary that dropped a few days ago. And to be honest, it is probably, out of all my years on YouTube, the craziest video I've ever seen. Like, the most, thought-provoking video I've probably ever seen on the platform. And trust me, we'll get to it, okay, if that sounds a little crazy. For those who don't know, I am a Call of Duty YouTuber. I do have about 20,000 subscribers on my main channel, and this is my secondary channel, okay? So just laying that out there so you guys know who I am, but let's go ahead and get into this. I did not expect this documentary to be as impactful as it was. I thought it was going to be just some, goofy documentary about this pedophile, or sorry, PDF file. I gotta watch what I say here because the YouTube censorship demons might come after me. But we're going to say PDF file, all right? So hopefully that doesn't, get this video taken down or whatever, right? And it was a lot more than that. There really is a lot of stuff to learn from this documentary. The most obvious and surface level thing to be learned by watching this documentary is just simply the fact that EDP is a gross human, right? You're learning about his upbringing and how he became who he became and the stuff that he done to kids. Not just kids, but adults as well. I mean, he was literally sending pictures of his feces to Mike Klum, the creator of the documentary. It's just ridiculous, So it's not just him doing stuff against kids. It's just him being a gross human in general. But that's not why I'm making this video, okay? We all know that EDP445 is a disgusting, gross human. We've known this for years before this documentary came out. The purpose of me making this video is to unpack everything else, not just the supporting parts of how all this came to be, but the things that we can learn from, the things that I learned from it at least. This documentary might be the greatest piece of anti-prawn addiction material ever posted on the internet. So for those who don't know, okay, maybe you're just not initiated or you're not on the internet as much, prawn addiction in the modern day Western world for young men is pretty bad. It's one of the biggest addictions for at least my generation, and it's a serious problem. And the reason that I'm pointing this out is because this was a man who was severely addicted to prawn. They even say it in the documentary multiple times. Even he says it multiple times. He openly admits to the fact that he's addicted. And the reason that I'm pointing this out is because it really might be the largest indicator to what made EDP who he is. Now, there are definitely other factors which made him the way he is, and trust me, we will get to that. But I personally think that the prawn addiction has to be the largest indicator of how EDP became EDP, all right? And hear me out on this, okay? If you're a little confused, you don't know where I'm going at with this, it's sort of like a gateway drug, okay? You guys ever have, the DARE or, the Too Good for Drugs little program at your elementary school or something? Well, they always say, well, marijuana is like a gateway drug, and it gets you into using other drugs. That's sort of how, your initial prawn experiences are. It starts out with, very basic vanilla videos, stuff like that, right? You're just dabbling in, nothing crazy. But over time, as it progresses, it gets, it evolves. It evolves, and you need more stimulation. You need a new thing, a new interest to keep you going. Now, I do have to watch what I say because this is YouTube, all right? This is not a very open platform, okay? So I do need to watch what I say, but it starts out with the basic stuff, and then it evolves into, furries. You get what I'm saying? Basically, I gotta watch what I say, man. The more desensitized, the more accustomed you become, you need more and more to keep going. So I guess the key thing to learn from that part of how EDP became EDP is you really need to, check in on yourself. I mean, once you get into the furry stuff, once you get into anything that's really past basic vanilla stuff, you probably need to, slow down, okay? Because it's only going to compound, and it's only going to get worse. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to become a PDF file. I'm not saying that you're going to become the next Jeffrey Epstein if you have a prawn addiction. But that's one of the paths, okay? Like, that's one of the potential paths that you can go down. You know, for some people, it's furry stuff. For some people, you know, there's a lot of different things, right? I don't want to get too in detail, but, you know, there's many different ways that could go. And for EDP, it just happened to be that one. But that takes us into the next part of this video, which is going to be, how exactly did he fall into this trap? And there is a good bit to unpack in this section of the video, because we have the people who caught him, we have what led him to that position in the first place. There's a lot, okay? And we can use that and apply it to our own lives and learn something from it. So, you know, when you watch the documentary, you sort of learn about his childhood, how exactly he became, you know, who he became, and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things that was harped on was the fact that he just had, like, a lack of intimacy. Like, he actually did manage to get a girlfriend. He actually found a woman who would date him. And even then, he wouldn't get none, right? Like, he wasn't even having any action with the one woman on Earth who would be willing to get with him. So it's like, dang, man, you know? So, yes, I do believe that the lack of intimacy portion that he described that led him to that position was truthful. I actually do believe that's true. Now, I'm not saying that that is an excuse for his actions, but I do think that having his type of personality and looking the way that he does, it led him to being extremely lonely. And for any people who are watching this who sort of feel like they might relate to that in a way, you got to change something, man, okay? I know there's some things that can't be changed, but a lack of intimacy can make you more susceptible to getting caught up in something like this, because, as he said, it wasn't even just about the sexual component. Now, yes, this is from his words, so maybe we shouldn't take this, you know, fully on face value, but he said that it was just a lack of human connection that brought him to that road where he was caught by Alex Rosen. Now, yes, I do think that he is still a PDF file, okay? I'm not saying that that was the only factor that led him to that road, but I do think that it was a contributing factor. I really do. And I feel like you can also see this, like, in those YouTube predator catches. A lot of the guys they catch, they're incels. Like, okay, like, can I even say that word on YouTube? Like, am I going to get this video taken down? like, they're... Okay, it's not all of them, obviously, but a decent sample size, okay, is people that just are weird. Like, EDP is a weird guy, alright? I'm not even just talking about the way he looks. He sends pictures of his poop to people. Like, he's a weird human being, okay? So, it is just more likely that he is not going to be able to have romantic relationships with women because he's fucking gross and weird. Okay, like, it's just the truth, alright? So I guess the key takeaway from that is, I guess just become a more normal, likable person who can fit in with society. I don't know. Like, I don't know what there is to take away from that. Like, truly. I mean, because, wow, like, it's just a lot. And, you know, it's just one of those factors that can lead you down that path. But it's not an excuse. It isn't, okay? Like, there's other things you can do, you know, but I can see how it leads to that. I guess just self-improvement, you know, just trying to become a better person. I guess that's the one thing you can take away from that portion. But it's not just the addiction, okay? It's not just a lack of intimacy or being a weirdo or sending pictures of your poop to people. It's not just that. And that brings me to the next part of this video, which is one of the hardest pills to swallow. And it's the fact that really everybody in this situation is in the wrong. Okay, yes, EDP is in more of the wrong, I would say, but the pred catchers, they're also in the wrong in this situation. If you guys have not watched the documentary yet, you might not understand what I'm saying. You might think this is a crazy point, but hear me out, okay? Because they literally admitted to doing it in the documentary. The predator catchers themselves. So yes, EDP did all the stuff that he said he did. Okay, he himself said that he did all these things. So he is definitely in the wrong. Well, the predator catchers went about catching him the wrong way. I love Skeeter Gene. I love Gideon. I think that they make really entertaining pred catching videos. And I do think that they've done a lot more good than bad. Like 99% of what they have done has been a positive impact on the world. But This was bad. Basically, the way that they went about it made the case unprosecutable. So, unlike all their other pred catches where they have had, prosecutions and a lot of these people have went to prison and jail and all this kind of stuff, this particular case involving EDP is unprosecutable because they handled it in a different direction. And that's the worst thing about it. It almost looks like they went after EDP because he was a high-profile guy, and they knew they would get a lot of clicks and attention, more so than actually prevailing justice. That does sound super shitty of me to say, and I don't actually believe that that is what their intention was. I do think that they wanted him to go to prison. But I just wish they would have done it better. Okay, it's the truth. Even, I'm pretty sure they wish they would have done it better, because now EDP is a free man. He has jobs, he's making money, he even had a girlfriend. Like, EDP is a free man, even though he did these things. He literally sent images to a real minor. He sent pictures of his poop to a minor as well. And it doesn't matter, because he got away with it. Because of the way that the predator catchers handled this catch. And again, I'm not trying to throw shade at them or anything. I just wish, everybody wishes that it would have been handled better. Even Chris Hansen, who was featured in the documentary, said that if it was him who caught EDP, then his EDP445 ass would be in prison right now. Okay, he literally said that in the documentary. So that's amazing. But this is where things get really ugly for the other side of this catch, the actual catcher side. And this is more pertaining to Gideon. I'm not sure how much Skeeter Gene influenced this, if he had any influence at all. Basically, there was a real minor who EDP was talking to, and she was even featured in this documentary as well. And she basically said that Gideon encouraged her to keep messaging EDP. This is a real minor. This is a real human being. He had encouraged her to keep messaging him to get, I guess, more information or more messages from him to make the situation just that much bigger or something. It sucks. It does. And it makes Gideon look bad. It really does. But the thing about it with this girl, even she admitted in the documentary that she saw it as an opportunity. She said herself that she was an opportunist and she was going to take advantage of this and use it to accelerate her music career or whatever. That is insane. What? So it looks like there's no winner. There's no winner in this situation. Even the potential victim is scummy. Yes, she's still a victim, but it's even she said that it was an opportunity. And Gideon saw it as an opportunity, right? He saw this girl as a way to get more information, more receipts on EDP. This was just a bad situation for everybody that was involved. It was. Now, yes, EDP's career and reputation is ruined forever. Okay, so I guess something good came from it, but it was just done in such a wrong way. And what it really shows is that everybody is just out for themselves at the end of the day. Okay? Even if there is another motive or something else you can tackle, right? Like taking down a PDF file. At the end of the day, everybody is doing something for their own motive deep down. Now, this isn't the case for everything in life, but at least in this instance, it is clear as day that that is what was happening. But yeah, I mean, it looks like those are the key takeaways from this whole fiasco, all right, from this disaster. And the documentary showed it well. For anyone who has not watched it yet, proceed with caution. It is definitely full of disturbing language and disturbing information. And they say that, okay, before you start watching it. So, viewer discretion is advised. Even with this video of me reacting to it, or not really reacting to it, but giving my opinions on it, even then, I mean, there's viewer discretion advised. This video might even get, age restricted or something. Who knows? But, yeah, man, it's rough. It's rough. Yeah, and I guess those are the things that you can learn from it. Try to be, a likable, normal person. Try to find intimacy in the right way. Okay, try to find good, true love with the right person. I know that's kind of hard nowadays. okay, with the current dating market and everything, I get it. And, you know, if you notice yourself going off the deep end a bit with a prawn addiction, or any addiction, but specifically this one for this video, you know, you might want to handle it. Okay, I'm sure a lot of us, you know, can attest to having, you know, struggles with that. You know, it's rough, man. Not saying that God is real, not saying that, you know, your God is wrong or my God's right, but, you know, maybe talk to God a bit if he's real. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, I don't think he's made it very clear, but that'll be a topic for another day. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see y'all in the next one.